Hi everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to do a proper air brake test or in-cab inspection for this vehicle right behind me here. Now, if you're looking to get a CDL license, one of the processes is you're going to have to pass a road test. Part of that road test is you're going to have to understand exactly how to do an air brake test to the T. If you don't do it right, you might fail. If you get one thing wrong, you might fail. So let's get going. If you want to learn how to do a proper in-cab inspection air brake test itself, let's get started. Alright, so now that we're inside the vehicle, it's time to start our cab check, engine start, or air brake test, depending on how you want to say it. So when it comes to this thing, we are driving an automatic transmission, so there is going to be a little slight difference between an automatic and a manual. Now, we are on level ground, so we do not have to chuck the wheels. If you're not on level ground, the first step is you're going to take the key out and chuck the wheels itself. So from there, you're going to perform a safe start, okay? So we're going to turn the key to the on position. Now, once the key is in the on position, the gauges are going to start working properly. We're going to make sure that the parking brakes are both applied and the transmission is in neutral. Like we talked about, it's an automatic vehicle, so not too much to worry about there. From there, we're going to turn the engine all the way on. Boom. So now the engine's on. That means that the air compressor is going to start pumping air into the air tanks itself. Now, when we look at the dashboard right over here, you're going to be able to see exactly this air gauge right over here. You're going to have two air tanks, and you can actually see the 100, the 150, and in the middle is about a 125. So step number one is actually going to be make sure that we give it a little bit of gas, and we have to make sure the air compressor is working by making sure we're filling up the tanks to at least 120 psi or higher. 125 is usually where most trucks are going to pop. We're going to listen for that sneeze. So you're going to keep going until you hear that sneeze, give a little bit more gas, and it's coming on up, as you guys can see. And boom, you guys heard that sneeze. From there, what we're going to be doing is now we have to shut the engine off of the vehicle, right? And then you're going to want to make sure you turn the key to the on position. Remember this saying, this key has to be turned on. If you don't turn this key on, you will fail the test, and that's not something that we want to do. From there, we're then going to push in the brakes. So you're going to push in the yellow brake first, followed by the red brake itself. Now from here, we are going to actually start looking at the gauges. Once the gauge is stabilized, as you can see, you're actually going to be able to wait 1 minute, put your foot on the brake. In a Class A vehicle, you cannot lose more than 4 psi. So we're going to wait the full minute for the actual test. For this training purpose itself, we'll assume that the whole minute passed. So we took our foot off the brake. We did not lose more than 4 psi on any of our gauges, which means there are no leaks. The way to think about this is actually going to be if you do have a leak that's more than 4 psi, that means that one of the hoses inside the system is actually leaking because air is coming out, right? From there, we're going to be pumping on the brake, and you're going to go down to about 55 psi, and around 55 psi, or before, that's when the air buzzer light is going to come on, as you guys can actually hear that right over there, all right? From there, we're going to keep pumping between 20 and 45 psi, and then we're going to look at our parking brakes right over there. And these parking brakes should be popping out for us. Let's see how they go. Once we get to 20 to 45 psi. Now, if you look at the gauges here, one is all the way down, but the other one is not, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So we're going to keep pumping, and boom, both of those brakes did pop out right over here, as you guys can see right there. So from there, we're actually going to be doing another safe start. So the safe start is going to be, again, parking brakes applied, transmission is in neutral, and we're going to turn the key all the way to the opposition. Now, while this is building up, let me tell you some secrets to the game. If you miss any of those steps that I just talked about before or earlier in this test, you will absolutely fail the test itself. So you want to make sure you get that thing to the T. Depending on what school you go to, depends on how they're going to train you. But if you come to the best CDL school in the country, we're going to give you a word-for-word script so you know exactly what to do. We're going to train you on the similar truck that you're going to be taking the test in with people who actually know exactly what they're doing. And they're going to make sure they drill you day in and day out to make sure you don't miss anything or make any mistakes. Because even if you're an amazing person at parking the truck or driving the truck itself, you will not get a license. You'll be the best unlicensed driver out there. And that's not what we want here. We want to get you on the road to freedom here at Driving Academy. So check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, for more information while we continue with this thing, right? So the next phase of this actual air brake test is going to be what's called an Incap Inspection. So I'm going to lift up the air pressure to above 60 psi by giving a little bit of gas so that buzzer light and warning buzzer will come off itself. So now we're good to go there, okay? At that point, what we're going to be doing is now we have to check the inside of the vehicle to make sure things are actually working correctly. So, things that we're going to be checking, there's no specific order that you have to worry about. One is going to be the horn, right? So you're going to have your electric horn, your air horn right over there. Those are always fun things to do. Like, remember being a kid going like that to truck drivers? This is exactly what that is. Over here, our parking brakes are engaged, right? We're going to be checking our dashboard. Our oil pressure gauge is working. Our water temperature gauge is working properly between 150 to 200 temperature. So next thing we're going to be doing is checking our gauges. We're going to have our oil pressure gauge. That's working properly. Our water pressure gauge, our water temperature gauge is also working properly itself. Our air pressure gauges are actually rising. Our fuel gauge is looking okay. Our volts are 14.2 volts currently and charging. So all of our gauges seem to be working itself. Next thing we're going to do is check our light indicators. So a left turn signal is working, right turn signal is working, four-way flashers are going to be working. We're going to be putting those on itself. We shut that off right over here, okay? Headlights, high beams, we're all going to be checking all that. So that's the high beams itself, and the headlights are also working as well. Next thing we're going to be checking is our windshield. So our windshield is actually going to be clean and clear and functional. Has no cracks, no illegal stickers. Our windshield wipers itself, we're going to be checking those. Those are all working properly. Our windshield washer fluid, we're going to say that in this vehicle there is no washer fluid, so we're good to go there, okay? From there, we're going to make sure that the seatbelt's working properly. This is our seatbelt. Our seatbelt has to make sure that it latches properly, has no cut or frays on it itself, and latches and unlatches properly, okay? Super important there. So that's working. The next thing we're going to check is going to be heater and defroster. We're going to turn on our heat and our defrost itself. We're going to lift it all the way up. Make sure we're checking to feel that. Make sure that we feel air here. Make sure that we feel air underneath there, which is the heater itself. So we are good to go. Both of those are working properly. From here, we're going to be checking our emergency equipment. So in this vehicle, we're going to have 3 reflective triangles. We're going to have 6 spare fuses. We're also going to have a fully charged fire extinguisher, all operational, all good to go. And that pretty much covers the entire in-cab inspection that you have to worry about. From there, it's going to be what's called a tug test. All right. So for the tug test, what we're going to be doing is checking our parking brakes. So we're going to be releasing the yellow brake first, which is releasing the tractor, and make sure that the trailer brake is working. We're then going to put it into drive, as we can see right over there, and then we're going to get our foot off the brake, and we should not be moving, which we don't, okay? From there, we're going to reverse it. We're going to pull out the yellow brakes, push in the red. We're going to make sure we stay in drive right over there, and then we're going to come off the gas, give a little bit of gas, and we're not moving at all. So things are working properly. These brakes are working. Next thing we're going to do is pull up straight, and we are going to make sure that the service brakes are working. So from there, we're going to come off the gas a little bit. We're going to pull up just slightly forward, and as you can see, we're going to press on the foot brake, and boom, we are good to go. The service brakes are working properly. From there, we're just going to shut the engine off, and we're going to say to the examiner, we are done with the in-cab inspection, and now it's time to do an external light check. So we're going to ask the examiner for actual help on that. We're going to make sure everything is good to go, and then you get to do the pre-trip inspection. If you don't know about our pre-trip inspection, make sure you check out our video on pre-trip. It's going to be in the link below of this video, the description video itself, and we could definitely help you out with that. But if you want some actual hands-on training from the best CDL school around, we've trained over 10,000 students so far. Our mission is to get us to 1 million students on the road to freedom. We can definitely help you out with that as well. Check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com. Thanks, and have a great day. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.